Hey YouTube, it's your girl Cookie. Today I am going to be coming at you guys with a recipe for jambalaya that I actually found in a cookbook. I downloaded it to my Kindle Fire and I was like, oh snap, I got a potluck coming up. I can't wait to make this jambalaya. So here you go. I'm going to show you guys all the ingredients. Alright, so to make this jambalaya, you're going to need a pound of the andouille sausage. You're going to need a pound of shrimp. You want it frozen, cooked and deveined, and tails off. Those have tails on, but I'm just going to cut them off at, when I get ready. Then you're going to need a pound of chicken breast cut into cubes. Probably somewhere around like 1-inch cubes, or maybe, I don't know, maybe a little smaller. You need a bell pepper, an onion, a can of diced tomatoes, a cup of chicken broth, 2 teaspoons of parsley flakes, 2 teaspoons of oregano, 2 teaspoons of Cajun seasoning, and then half a teaspoon of cayenne. You want to dice your bell peppers and then get ready for your onions. Alright, so there you have your diced onions and your diced bell peppers. And if you don't really like the smell of your onions, just go ahead and put them right into your crock pot. And then you can put the top on your crock pot. That way you don't have to smell it. Alright, now you want to slice up your pound of andouille sausage. Just to show you guys, some of them are kind of thin, but then other of them, they're kind of thick. So it really just depends on how you cut. I cut kind of fast, so I didn't really look at the thickness. I don't think it'll make a big difference though. So now we're going to put that over into the crock pot. Okay. Put the lid back on, keep that onion stench in. And we're going to move on to cutting the chicken, which is my least favorite part, but okay. Now that we have our chicken all cut up, I hate cutting chicken because my hands get all sticky and all that stuff, And also when you're dealing with chicken, you got to make sure that you wash your hands 15,000 times and wash anything that touched the chicken. So I hate that part. But you put your chicken down in there, and then what you want to queue up next is your tomatoes. Now you want to take your diced tomatoes. You don't have to get the all natural kind. It was just my preference. And you want to pour it, juice and all, just right over the top of everything. I don't know if you can see that. Just pour it right over the top. Okay. Next up is the chicken broth. You want to make sure you have a cup of chicken broth. See, it's right at the 1 cup line. That's not an entire can, so you want to measure that out. And you just pour that right over. And this is when you would sprinkle all of your seasonings on. Alright, as you can see, I've gone ahead and I've added the spices. I figure you don't need to see me do that. But just to remind you of the measurements, you've got the parsley flakes is 2 teaspoons. Oregano is 2 teaspoons. Cajun seasoning is 2 teaspoons. And cayenne is half a teaspoon. You just want to put it right over the top like that. Then you can cover it up. I am very accurate when I'm doing recipes for the first time, so I actually pulled out my measuring spoons to measure out the seasonings. But if you guys are used to cooking a lot and you know what 2 teaspoons would look like, go ahead. You don't have to use your spoons or anything like that. And if you don't like either one of these flavorings, I would say just go by taste, go by what you want it to be. Just remember that the oregano, the Cajun seasoning, and the parsley should be pretty close to equal parts. So just remember that. And then the cayenne must be a real kicker because you only put a little bit of it. I'm going to tell you my secret. I put a little bit more cayenne and a little bit more Cajun seasoning just because I don't know. I just like the idea of having my stuff with a little bit more kick. Now you're going to cook this on low in your slow cooker for 7 to 8 hours. I'm going to cook it personally closer to 8 hours because my chicken started off frozen and I want to make sure it cooks all the way through. And everything gets all, marinated and happy in there. If you are in more of a rush and you want to cook it on high, you cook it on high for 3 to 4 hours. Now, I know what you're thinking. What do I do with my shrimp? Well, what you want to do is you want to take your shrimp, and let's just assume that you're going to cook your meal for 8 hours. At the 7-hour and 30-minute mark, you want to put your shrimp in. You want to put your shrimp in the last 30 minutes of cooking. If you do it right now, the shrimp's going to get leathery and it's going to be really bad tasting, and you don't want that. Now, as I told you guys earlier, I got the deveined and cooked, but it still has tails on because it's cocktail shrimp. What I'm going to do is, at the 7-hour and 15-minute mark, I'm going to take the shrimp out of the bag and I'm going to chop off the tails from each one. And then at the 7-hour, 30-minute mark, I'm going to just throw them into the crock pot. So, if you do that, you should probably be pretty good. I'll be back at the 7-hour, 15-minute mark. My house is probably going to smell amazing, and you guys are going to wish you had smell-o-vision. Alright, welcome back. We are now at about 7 hours and 30 minutes. Really close to 7 hours and 30 minutes. And I have taken all the shrimp, and I've taken all the tails off of them. Except for one. I missed one, it looks like. Oh, no, I didn't. It just looks that way. Let's throw that sucker in there. Alright, so what you want to do is just add your shrimp in. I've gone through and taken all the tails off. They look a little like I didn't, but I promise I did. I actually went through twice. I don't know if you can see like that color coming in, but that looks good. It smells absolutely amazing. I'm just going to mix this shrimp in here so that it is not sitting right on the top. It is now, I actually turned this up to high, and I did that because I kind of wanted to speed the process up. So when I said that we were almost at 7 hours, 30 minutes, we're really at about 7 hours. I'm just going to cook it in there for another half hour, and just so that the shrimp can get done, and then I'm going to put it on low, or we'll set it to keep warm. So there we go. There's our jambalaya. Now, what you want to do is you serve this over, it just says sticky rice. So, you know, it's white rice, but you want to let it get just a little, I guess, a little overdone so that it kind of sticks together or whatever. I am actually using Riceland rice. I don't know where the bag of rice is, but I'm just going to use that rice. I'm going to start it now. So you can use whatever kind of rice you want, I guess. But this is the gist of what your jambalaya will be. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have good eatings. Deuces.